Young Surveyors Network, Lagos State. So I proceed. The world of geospatial technology, as we know, is rapidly evolving, driven by the unprecedented advancements in artificial intelligence and the emergence of cyber GIS systems. These cutting-edge technologies are redefining the way we acquire, process, analyze, and visualize spatial data, unlocking new frontiers of discovery and innovation in our field. Today's webinar aims to explore the profound impact of AI, artificial intelligence, and cyber GIS on the geospatial landscape, shedding light on the latest trends, challenges, and opportunities that lie ahead. Our distinguished panel of experts will share their insights and experiences, providing invaluable perspectives on how these groundbreaking technologies are transforming how we approach surveying, mapping, and spatial analysis. I encourage you to listen with rapt attention and engage actively throughout the webinar. This platform is an excellent opportunity to expand your knowledge, gain fresh insights, and network with professional colleagues who share a passion for geospatial innovation. Please feel free to ask questions, share your thoughts, and participate in the discussions. Your active engagement will not only enrich the learning experience for all, but also foster meaningful connections with our vibrant community of geospatial professionals. As we embark on this journey of exploration, let us embrace the potential of AI and cyber GIS to revolutionize our field, paving the way for groundbreaking discoveries and innovations that will shape the future of geospatial technology. Once again, a warm welcome to you all, and thank you for joining us today. Let us make the most of this webinar and continue to push the boundaries of what is possible in the realm of geospatial discovery and innovation. So that being said, it's my pleasure to once again welcome you to this webinar. Please feel free to express yourself in a very professional manner. Thank you very much. On this webinar, we're going to be having a moderator in the person of Joshua Biri. He's going to be taking us through the panel discussions and the Q&A sessions, and I really believe we're going to have a lovely time. So over to you, Surveyor Joshua Biri.
Thank you very much, Surveyor Theophilus. I think much of my thoughts and all has been articulated by him. Once again, you are very much welcome to this webinar. And just shortly, we would begin. I think we should give about a minute or two to have more participants so that we don't have a lot of people missing out on, the key objectives and the key takeaway from today's webinar. Thank you. Okay. I think we can proceed now. Thank you very much for that 1 minute break. So right now, I will be introducing our panelists for today's session in person of Ms. Juliet and Mr. Dane. I would start with introducing Ms. Juliet. Ms. Juliet Ibenegbu Ekremaka Juliet is a GIS specialist and backend engineer. She is currently the West Africa Zonal Coordinator for African Women in GIS and the founding member of ThriveGeo, a member of Young Surveyors Network, Nigeria. She called Africa. She is also a member of Deaf Career and Women in Tech. And Ms. Julia, thank you very much for accepting our presentation and accepting our invitation and taking time out of your busy schedule to share from your pool of expertise with our participants today. We do not take this lightly. Then the other person, our second panelist for today is Mr. Daniel Ako. Mr. Daniel is a geospatial analyst with several years of experience. He's also an environmental researcher who is passionate about environmental science, environmental sustainability, geographic information system, GIS as we may know it, mapping, urban planning, and disaster mapping. He is currently involved in the Idea Maps project, which is aimed to enhance and understand urban deprivation and facilitate evidence-based decision-making in pilot cities across Africa, such as Kano, Lagos in Nigeria, Nairobi in Kenya, and so on and so forth. Additionally, Mr. Daniel collaborates with HOT, Humanitarian OpenStreetMap, and Rich Flood Environmental Consultant as a junior scientist. He has a background in geography from the University of Nigeria in Nsukka, and a background in urban and regional planning from the Federal Polytechnic Idakogi at ordinary national diploma level. He is also dedicated to addressing the economic and environmental challenges through innovative research. Thank you very much, Mr. Daniel, for taking the time to join us today. So without further ado, I think we are in the right path to proceed and, provide us with all the needed information and knowledge for today's webinar. Thank you very much. So I'll be inviting Mr. Daniel to... Mr. Daniel, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, awesome. Thank you very much. So I believe you can proceed now. Please share your slide with us and take us through the journey. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. Okay, let me share my slide. Is it visible?
Yes, we can see your slide, but we are having a little trouble hearing you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, that's a lot better. Thank you.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. Thank you for having me here. As the moderator has introduced me already, so before my screen here, I'm having a presentation on urban planning and in the age of geospatial AI and cybersecurity, leveraging geospatial analytics for smart city development. So that's what we are going to talk about today. By the way of introduction, smart city is growing due to the trend of urban planning, the challenges of urbanization, climate change, and technological advancement. So smart cities are designed for sustainability, for livable and efficiency. So with the use of technology, we apply this to improve the quality of life. Geospatial analytics has played a critical role in smart city development, providing insights into complex interactions between people, infrastructure, and the environment. So GIS or geospatial analysis and cybersecurity GIS is a powerful tool that integrates geospatial data analysis with advanced computing capabilities enable urban planners to analyze large data and complex data sets in real time. So what is the importance of urban planning in the era of smart city? Here before us, the importance of urban planning It lies in the ability to shape our environment, enhance and improve the urban environment that has the need of residents while addressing the challenges and challenges of trying to address
Hello, Mr. Daniel. Sorry for cutting you short. Sorry for interjecting. I think we are having a little trouble. We have trouble with your network, so we are finding it a bit difficult to hear you. Can you take a moment to have that corrected? I think your voice was, cackling. Okay, everyone. While we are waiting for Mr. Daniel to fix its connectivity issues and get back to us, please, a link has been left in the chat box that gives us access to a platform that allows us to leave our questions. We can just go through the slides is presenting to us, and at the same time, we would also be sharing a link to the slides, and we would also be having a panel discussion. So if there are any question per se that we might have, the link has been left in the group. We can go to the name of the platform is Slido. You can go to the platform and leave our question, and there will also be a poll as the discussion continues. So when time is right for the poll, we are going to call your attention to it. Thank you very much. We are just going to wait for Mr. Daniel to, come back to us now. Thank you very much for your patience.
Yeah, can you enable me to share my screen?
All right, perfect. Welcome back. Yes, we are working on that right away. Yes, you can share your screen now, Mr. Daniel. You are a host.
Yeah, is it reflecting from your end?
Yes, we can see your screen.
So we're going to look at the role of geospatial analytics in urban planning. Okay, that's very good. Yeah, I'm having three roles that geospatial analysts play in the field of environmental planning and urban planning rather. So geospatial analytics play a role in urban planning planners to analyze manage and visualize geospatial data leading to more well-designed cities. By integrating data from various sources, geospatial analysts visions and optimize resource estimate. And the third one here, geospatial analytics played a role in building climate resilient strong places and so on. So Yeah, sorry for my network challenges here. So what is geospatial AI? So if we're looking at geospatial AI from our definitions here on our slide, um, it is an integrated field that combines both geospatial data, geospatial studies, and particularly related to geography and geosciences, with the combination of AI, especially machine learning and deep learning methods, with the aid of technologies. So geospatial AI aims in developing intelligent computer programs that mimic human perception, spatial reasoning, and discovery about geospatial phenomena and dynamics. So a typical example of this tool is the ArcGIS tool, which is used or which can be used uh, to carry out some spatial modeling, like terrain and elevation modeling, climate dictation, disaster response, and damage assessment can do predictive modeling and spatial clustering analysis. So with the aid of GeoAI, those analysis can be done and modeling can be carried out. So what is cybersecurity? Cybersecurity is a subfield of geospatial analytics that extends geospatial research from real space to visual space. So in summary, it involves the use of cyber infrastructure, such as distributed computing and cloud-based resources to power advanced geographic information system and spatial analytics capabilities. So the integration aims to advance research, scientific research and problem solving across domains that involve spatial data and geographic information. So a typical tool or software that is being used or that can be called is cyber GIS is the Google Earth engine and the climate engine. So those are demos or models here. You can see the other model here from my screen is being carried out using the Google Earth engine, while this one is the climate engine, which can be used to monitor drought, and this can be used to monitor or to carry out environmental management in regards to vegetation mapping or vegetation monitoring. So the next one is what are the differences between GeoAI, cybersecurity, and traditional GIS. So GI is also spatial GIS is a subfield that involves the use of AI, which focuses on the application of AI techniques, particularly with the use of machine learning and deep learning to carry out or to conduct the spatial analysis. While cybersecurity, cyber GIS focuses on the integration of advanced cyber infrastructure, the spatial data science and domain experts that enables new types of the spatial discovery and innovation. So a traditional GIS typically are those computer systems that are being used for capturing, storing, analyzing, managing, and visualizing the spatial data, which are used for map creation, which are used for map creation, perform geospatial analysis, and modeling geographic phenomena. So those are the major primary use of traditional GIS is to manage and visualize the spatial data. So what is the benefit of geospatial AI and cybersecurity? And one of the benefits here is to improve data analysis and visualization. So with the advancement in geospatial AI and cyber GIS, data are being improved. Look back then, for us to access data is a big issue. But with the advancement in geospatial AI and cyber security, we can access a cloud-based, we can carry out a cloud-based analysis with large data that we can use. So the second one is real-time monitoring and prediction. So with these tools, we can carry out a monitoring analysis, we can do a prediction, can do a land use land cover monitoring, we can predict flooding or areas that are meant that flood is being meant to carry out. The next one is it enhances decision making and planning. So with the use of these geospatial tools, decision makers can lay hands on these models, can study them, and they can carry out planning and prepare for what's going to happen in the next future. So areas of application of geospatial AI and cybersecurity in urban planning. With the aid of these two, transportation planning and management can be carried out. Maybe a project is ongoing project with the idea map project. We're trying to model slum areas, urban deprivatization. So with these maps, with these models, and town planners, decision makers can lay hands and they can see where planning is necessary, areas that need development, and where urban areas or slums are being affected much. So in disaster response and management, with my work with the humanitarian OpenStreetMap, can see from the map here, there is a rescue and search mission with this data, with this model, can see areas that disaster are affected, either flooding, either earthquake. So with this model, we can use them for planning. So the next one is the challenges and the limitation. So the number one challenge here is the data privacy and security concern. Data is a big issue. Accessing of data, not everyone is, because of the insecurity and challenge. So data availability is very, very rare. So it's a big time challenge in the field of urban planning, the technical expertise and infrastructure requirements. So this has to do with, in the field of urban planning, the lack of technical knowledge in the application of these two has affected or it has lingered, it has been a challenge to urban planning. So integration of existing urban planning processes. Yeah, geospatial AI is yet to be integrated with some urban industries or in some fields, whereby with these tools, most of the data or most of the processes that are being carried out in urban areas are yet to be understood. So the lack of the knowledge of this tool has affected urban planners in the course of carrying out their duties in urban development. So what is the future direction of geospatial and cybersecurity, cyber GIS in urban planning? The advancement of AI and machine learning is the way forward now. So if this knowledge is being integrated to urban planning, it will not be a challenge for the field again. So it will boost the industry in terms of planning, in terms of zoning, and in terms of mapping. The number 2 point here is the integration of the IoT, that's the Internet of Things, and other smart city technologies. The third one is the increase in collaboration and data sharing between cities and stakeholders. So if data is being shared among stakeholders, among industries, I think it is a way forward. It is the way forward for urban planning. Conclusion. So by the way of conclusion, what is the potential of geospatial AI and cybersecurity in transforming urban planning? So geospatial AI and cyber GIS has the potential to revolutionize urban planning by enabling advanced analysis, visualization of geospatial data, improve decision making, and enhance data integration by integrating geospatial information with into AI algorithm, organizations can analyze and visualize data in spatial context, enable deeper insight and understanding. Location intelligence is also enabled with AI systems to make more informed and context-aware decisions by considering the geographic context, spatial relationship, proximity, and accessibility. So the need for continuous research and development in the field of urban planning with the use of AI is very, very important and paramount. So it is essential to integrate AI and machine learning in advanced remote sensing technologies, and collaborate and share data across stakeholders is very, very necessary. This will enable development of more intelligent geographic information and innovative application, urban security, transportation, and resource management. So the integration of artificial intelligence and machine learning, it can improve in remote sensing technologies, collaboration and data sharing initiative, and addressing ethical and privacy concerns are pivotal in shaping the future of various domains. The last point here is ensuring that ethical guidelines, transparency, accountability, and collaboration with organizations can unlock the full potential of AI and machine learning in diverse applications, which can lead to innovative solutions and improve the outcome across a wider range of applications. Thank you, and that's the end of my slide here.
Thank you very much for that wonderful presentation on cyber GIS, artificial intelligence, and how to harness all of this, into the recent day urban planning and geospatial planning. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So before we wrap up this session, we have created some questions, a couple of questions as a form of poll to be able to get feedback from our audience to ensure that we are actually communicating, we are impacting information. If you check the chat box, we have left, there's a link there that will take you to Slido. Once you click on that link, you'll be redirected to a platform called Slido on your browser. Just take a couple of seconds to answer the questions there, and we would be able to, get the answers and get feedback from our presenter. Thank you very much. So we just let's just take about 20 or 30 seconds to do that. If you are required to put a code in the Slido, you can use the code that I just left in the chart now. Thank you. Let's just take 1 second or 20 seconds to do that. Then we can proceed to the panel discussion. Thank you. Once you are done answering, you can just react to the link by just giving a thumb up or just drop an emoji once you have answered the question. Thank you. Okay, thank you. So I think so Theophilus, are you able to share this kind of an answer so that we can see how many people actually, got the answer, and our presenter can tell us what the answer is, then we can proceed to our panel discussion. Thank you. Oh, great. So answer to our poll just came in. Can you walk us through the answer? So, Theophilus, can you walk us through?
Right. From the first question on the poll, we have 14 responses, and all the responses for the first option, which says that geospatial AI and cyber GIS is a combination of geosciences, AI, machine learning, deep learning, and technologies. So that's the response to the first poll. We're going to have about 3 other questions, as you can see on the screen, come up in subsequent during the meeting. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. So we have just about a couple of minutes for our panel discussion. Mr. Dene, I hope you are there for us. So I'm just going to ask a couple of questions. So here, you mentioned a lot about geospatial AI and cyber GIS. So I was wondering, how can geospatial AI and cyber GIS be used to address, specific urban challenges in a city like Lagos, where we are plagued with, traffic congestion, resource management, pollution and disaster preparedness, especially in places like, Awuyaya, Lekki and thereabout, where, areas that are highly susceptible to flooding. How can we harness the power of geospatial AI and cyber GIS to address these, urban challenges? Thank you, Mr. Daniel.
Yeah, thank you for that question. And the application of geospatial AI in solving these environmental challenges, I think with the use of AI and machine learning, with geosciences, we model those places. And with the increase in urbanization, those areas from the model or from the map tends to show us areas that are likely to be flooded in terms of flooding. So if we get those data or we got these maps, we can use them for predictive analysis. So I think if those maps are ready after the analysis, so the Ministry of Urban Planning can use it for future disaster response and in solving environmental problems.
Thank
Is
you
that
very
clear?
much. That was very apt and just straight to the point. Thank you very much. We have a couple of other questions, but we will have to leave that to the question and answer session. So now I'm just going to introduce our other panelist for today, Ms. Juliet, to share her slides and present and discuss our theme with us. Thank you very much, Mr. Daniel, for your powerful session. We look forward to join you again or meet you again in the Q&A session. Now, Ms. Juliet, thank you very much. Please please share your slide with us and you can start your presentation. Thank you, Ms. Juliet. Everyone, welcome Ms. Juliet. Thank you.
Hi everyone. Good evening, everyone. And can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. So I'm going to share my screen now. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So my name is Juliet Ekperamaka Ibenebu. I'm a GIS expert, then I'm the West African Zonal Coordinator at African Women in GIS. So today I'll be speaking on disaster management, that's geospatial data and AI solutions. So we have the introduction. What is disaster management? So disaster management is simply critical for saving lives and minimizing damages during emergencies like flooding, earthquakes, tsunamis, and even landslides and pandemics as well. So technology has really played a key role in enabling like early warning system and then we have rapid response, then remote monitoring and predictive analytics, and GIS mapping and crowd sourced data. These tools has enabled response speed, accuracy, and also helping to reduce the impact of these disasters on the communities that are being affected by them. So we have
please, I'm coming.
sorry,
Please
were you
proceed.
talking to
Please
me?
proceed. No, please proceed. I'm going to mute
Okay.
this.
Okay, so what is geospatial data? So geospatial data is just simply the information that describes the physical location and characteristics of object or phenomena on the Earth's surface. This data includes coordinates such as latitude, longitude, as well as the attributes like elevation, land use, population density. So geospatial data is being used in various applications. We have navigation, urban and regional planning, like Daniel spoke about. Then we have disaster management, we have natural resources management. Then we also have environmental monitoring. So examples of this geospatial data sources includes GPS data. We have GIS, geographic information systems, then we have satellite images. We all know of these sources. So, geospatial data is really, really critical in disaster management because it allows us to map the vulnerability. It allows for mapping of vulnerability and resources. Then the hazards that is there also. So, and helps us to identify areas and populations at risk, and then also helps us to identify available resources so that authorities can plan better and respond to those emergency, and then minimizing the damages, and then also saving lives, which is our main goal in disaster management. So we have the role of AI in disaster management. So one of them, one of the roles of, they have so many roles of AI, so, but I just mentioned these 5. So one of them include predictive analysis. This is just simply the AI algorithm picking up the historical data and environmental factors to, they will pick up those data, then analyze them, predict the likelihood of such events occurring or such disasters occurring. So this would enable authorities to prepare and allocate resources accordingly. So it's more like when we all know that Lokoja, Kogi and Lagos, Banana Island, those areas, they are actually prone to flooding. So what this means is that this predictive analysis, it will just pick up those data, the previous flooding data that we had, and analyze them and say, okay, this is the extent of the damage that this flood is going to cause this year. This is how you should prepare, maybe put in early warning system. Okay, residents of this area should pack out a month to the rainy season or 2 months to the rainy season, so that if the flooding should come, it won't really affect that much. We just know that it's just the buildings that is affecting. So we have damage assessment, or you can also call it image recognitions. So this is simply analyzing images to assess the extent of damage and prioritize response. So it's simply the AI analyzing satellite images and drone footage to assess the damage, identify affected areas, then prioritize and response efforts. So to help send help to those who need it urgently. So that is that for number 2. So we have resource optimization. So it's just simply allocating resources, by considering factors like population and infrastructure. So we just pick up the areas that need the that needs help urgently, and then their population, it will help to distribute it and support properly. So we have early warning system. So this is just detecting early signs of disaster and issuing timely alert in vulnerable areas. I think in Japan, they have this system, and some of us that uses Samsung phones, you have, if you check well, you will see early warning system for this, for I think earthquake. So how it happens is that the AI system can detect, early warning signs like weather pattern and seismic activities, then issuing alert. Okay, you should go to this evacuation point, go to this evacuation point, or this earthquake is about to hit you at this magnitude or that magnitude. So just take precautions, and then you have to evacuate yourself. So we also have a simulation and planning. So simulation is just, the AI will just simulate the disaster scenarios to refine the response strategy and increase preparedness. So it's more like bringing up a scenario, and then maybe the last approach or strategy that they used the last time didn't work. So they will just have to stimulate another scenario and then plan for better strategies to use, and then enable them prepare. So we have that overall, AI enhances disaster management by enabling proactive measures and optimizing resources, then improving response effectiveness. So we have integration of geospatial data and AI. So we have real-time monitoring and analysis of these disasters. So we have real-time monitoring and analysis of disaster, facilitating in continuous tracking of unfolding events and providing timely updates to decision makers for prompt action. So this is more like this is more like the AI analyzing incoming data from various sources like satellite imagery, sensors, social media, to also track and update the progress of a disaster, and also providing real-time updates to decision makers to allowing them to allow them assess the situation accordingly and respond to the evolving conditions. So we have identification of high-risk areas. So we have identification of high-risk areas through analysis of historical data and topographic features, the demographic information. This will help prioritize mutation effects, and then resource allocation to those vulnerable zones. So it's just simply integrating geospatial data with AI algorithm for it to become possible to identify these areas and that are very prone to this specific type of disasters. And then the AI can analyze these data and then give information to pinpoint these high risk areas. So, and identifying of these high risk areas can help government or authorities implement preventive measures, then allocating resources effectively to reduce the impact of these disasters. So we have automated decision making for rapid response. So we have, by leveraging this automated decision making for rapid response, we are leveraging real-time data analysis to generate actionable insights and trigger automated response, and reducing response time and enhancing overall effectiveness in disaster management. So it's just simply, combining geospatial data and AI can really help facilitate, fast response during this disaster, and then it can, the AI algorithm can analyze incoming data stream, to generate actionable insights, then recommendation in real time, Then, these insights can trigger automatic response, such as deploying emergency services, activating evacuation procedure, or redirecting resources to the areas in need. So, by doing this process now can actually help to reduce the impacts and also help in the speediness of the rapid response. So, so case studies of how how geospatial data and AI has really helped. So we have predicting and mitigation of forest fire. So in California, they use this system called Fire Integrated Real-Time Intelligence System. So it's just simply combining geospatial data with AI to predict and monitor wildfire, because we know overseas there are areas that are prone to wildfire a lot. So they developed this system. It helps to analyze satellite images, weather data, and historical fire pattern to identify these areas that have high risks of wildfire. And this information really helps their government and authorities to deploy firefighting resources proactively, then conduct controlled burn and implement evacuation plans. And by doing these things, it will help reduce the severity and the impact of wildfire. So we have number 2 case study is flood prediction and management. So the European flood awareness system also integrates geospatial data and AI algorithm to predict and monitor the river flooding across Europe, by analyzing their soil moisture level and then their river discharge data. It provides early warning system to the authorities and communities, enabling them to have a timely preparation for them to evacuate, and also enables response actions. So number 3, we have disease outbreak monitoring. So we have organizations like health organizations like World Health and World Health Organization, and then the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. They use geospatial data and AI to monitor and track outbreaks. Because I remember during COVID, I think they called geospatial analysts to map out areas that have the victims of patients that have this COVID, to help them, know the plans and actions to take regarding that area. More like quarantine. I think they use quarantine system then a lot. So, by analyzing these demographic data and then the travel patterns and environmental factors, these AI algorithms can identify potential disease hotspots, and then it will help to forecast the spread of infectious diseases such as Ebola, Zika, and COVID. This information really guides the public health intervention, then resource allocation to mitigate the impact of this outbreak. So these are, they have other cases all over the world. So, but I just gave this one because this is the ones that I know that are being used. So we have challenges and considerations. For everything we are doing, they have pros and cons. So we have data privacy and security concern. Everybody's just worried about their data being collected without their information, so, and being used without their permission. And they are also concerned about hackers getting access to sensitive data. So, let me give you an example. So when using AI to, analyze a location data, during disasters, they are just high risk that personal information of citizens or individuals can be exposed and causing privacy issue for them. So we also have accessibility and affordability of this technology in developing countries. So, in some part of the world, it is very, very hard for people to access and afford these advanced technologies such as AI and satellite imageries. So, giving an example, during disaster, I don't think we have this early warning system here in Nigeria. So, imagine during disasters, communities in these developing areas might not even have access to this AI-powered early warning system or the high quality maps. It would make it very, very difficult for them to prepare and respond. So that is one of the challenges that we have. So we have ethical consideration in AI decision making. Now, AI algorithm can only make decisions based on the data given. Understand? So sometimes this decisions can be biased, because of the data it received. You cannot give it A and expect it to make decision based on B. It will only give you that A decision you gave it. So it leads to ethical concern. So it's just, let me just give you for an instance. If AI is being used to allocate resources during disaster, there's risks that there's a certain group of people that might be favored over others. So it would really, really raise concerns and raise eyebrows, a lot of eyebrows concerning fairness and justice while using this AI. So, these challenges need to be addressed, to enable that geospatial data and AI are being used responsibly and effectively in disaster management, by taking into consideration the accounts, right, and then the needs and the value of all the individuals and communities that are involved. So what are the future directions? So we have the future directions here, continuous advancement in remote sensing. So in the future, we hope that these tools that are used to gather data, like data about disaster like flooding, wildfire, earthquakes, tsunami, mudslide, right? Yeah. So we hope that the we hope that the satellites would capture clearer pictures of the Earth's surface, to help us see the details that we are really, really hard to spot before, like, tiny change in temperature, moisture level, that would, signify any increase, any upcoming flood or earthquake or tsunami or mudslide. So we also have integration of machine learning and big data analytics. So, machine learning is like teaching computers how to learn from data. Why big data analytics means analyzing huge amounts of information, to find a pattern. So in the future, I really hope these technologies will actually, work together to make sense of all the data we collect during disaster. To think that would have computers that can analyze, huge chunks of data from past, maybe hurricanes, tsunamis, flooding, mudslide, wildfire. In fact, all the disasters you can think of, and predict how strong the next one will be. This will really help communities to prepare and really stay safe. So we have a collaboration between governments and NGOs and tech companies. So, governments and NGOs, these parastatals that I mentioned, they can really, really team up together to use their skills and resources together in disaster management. So, I really picture a partnership between a government agency or charity and tech company, and this agency will provide data, then the charity offer on ground for support, then the tech company can develop AI tools. So all working together can give like a more rapid response when a faster, rapid response when disaster should strike. So, these future directions really hold promise on how we are going to improve our management with data, with disaster, and by using better technology and smarter analysis and teamwork, we can actually keep this community safe and help them prepare. So do feel free to ask me any question, and unfortunately I won't be here for the Q&A. I will drop my LinkedIn profile link or my email. You can just reach out to me and I would surely respond to you concerning all your questions. So thank you very much and do have a wonderful evening.
Thank you very much, Ms. Juliet. Thank you for that wonderful session. But before you take your leave, we have just one question here. If you could just provide an insight before you leave. So I'll just jump right straight into it. It says, beyond traditional sources, are there other innovative ways to collect and integrate geospatial data for disaster management, maybe through social media or, open source, collaboration and sort like that? So I'll just repeat the question. Beyond traditional sources, are there other innovative ways to collect and integrate geospatial data for disaster management? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. So there are organizations that you can collect this, like HOT. I think HOT organizations, they have social media. You can collect data from social media, but you'd have to be very careful. You also have organizations like HOT. I've forgotten a lot of them that's actually contribute to get these data, and then yeah, that is just the social media and then these organizations that come together to collaborate to give the data. So these two sources that I know that we should be sure of.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your time and this wonderful session. Now we are just going to jump straight into the question and answer session. We are going to leave the LinkedIn profile or access to the LinkedIn of the panelists so that if we have any questions beyond what has been presented, you can always shoot them a mail or a message in their DM. So, okay, that has just been dropped in the chat box now. So if you have any question pertaining what Mr. Daniel or Miss Juliet has imparted on us this evening, you can raise your hand and we will call on you to, ask your questions. And I'm aware or I know that our panelists are more than eager to provide answers to these questions. Although Ms. Julia will not be here, if you have any question for her, you can still drop it and we'll forward it accordingly as the case may be. So if you don't want to raise your hand and take the mic, you might as well just drop the question in the chat box and we will read it out and our presenters and panelists will address it. Thank you very much. Also, a link to the slides that were presented by both our panelists would be dropped in the chat box. Maybe there was something in particular that he mentioned that wasn't clear. You can find everything that he has said today in the Google Drive. That will provide a link just shortly. If you go through the slides, and there are any question or anything in particular that stands out and you want to further discuss with them, you just left an email, their personal email, from which you can reach them, as well as their other contact on other social media like LinkedIn or Twitter, as the case may be. So, and if you also go through the link, we have a question here from Janet. Janet Wankisole. I want to know how many AI tools that are easier to integrate and free. I'm unsure who this question is posed to. Maybe I want to believe it's to Miss Juliet. Yes, we will drop a link to the slides. And I want to know how many AI tools that are easier to integrate and free. Do we have a taker, Mr. Daniel, Miss Juliet? Would you like to answer that for us? Thank you.
Yeah, it depends on what the analysis you're carrying out. I think Google Earth Engine is free, just for you to register. Then when you register, you create an account with them, then you are good to go in terms of conducting your analysis or anything you want to do regards to applying the AI tool. And have the climate engine. That one is also a free tool whereby you can carry out your analysis. But both of them are all cloud-based tool. You don't need to have maybe the software installed into your system. You just go to the site, then you log in with your account, and you can do anything you want to do with regards to the analysis and download your result or your output. Thank you.
Thank you too.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mr. Daniel. So a recap of what you said, we can use Google Earth Engine. There are a lot of artificial intelligence models there that you can integrate into your existing workflow. For example, some of those tools, you can use them to carry out analysis such as shoreline detection and monitoring. I was just discussing one with a colleague yesterday, and with the name CoastSat. I'm going to leave that in the group. So CoastSat is an open source artificial intelligence tool that is based on Python that you can use for analysis such as shoreline detection. I'm sure there are also numerous artificial intelligence algorithms and models there that you can parameter tune to fit your specific application. Thank you. I hope that question has been answered. There are also other applications outside of shoreline detection, such as coastal sprawl analysis or monitoring, which is something that I'm currently working on at the moment. I'm also aware that there are some artificial intelligence plugins under QGIS that you can imbibe into your workflow or use for your analysis. So, questions. This is the time we've all been waiting for. If you have any other question, anyone has any other question, please. There's a saying that there are no stupid questions, right? Just ask away. Just ask away. As far as within the realm and sphere of geospatial technology, artificial intelligence, or cyber GIS, please let's ask away. Let's ask away. I'm surprised no one has asked any question about cyber GIS. It appears to be a new term. Well, maybe it's just to me, but then I'm sure it's not just to me. No one is asking Mr. Dane what cyber GIS is, what are some of the applications we have, and what are the tools available. There's a question here from Mr. Victor Bunshola. Okay. It says, I believe the only way one can make an impact is finding solutions to problems around us. I couldn't agree more with you on that. As a young surveyor, which is also in the field of artificial intelligence, what are the problems I can focus on finding solutions to in Lagos? Mr. Daniel, would you like to take that for us? Mr. Victor is asking, what are some of the problems that plagues us? I mean, considering Lagos is a coastal city, if I'm not mistaken, one of the largest coastal cities in Africa, are there particular problems around us that we feel like artificial intelligence would be able to, provide solution to? Thank you, Mr. Dane. Floor is yours.
Yeah, there are a lot of problems around Lagos City. And one of the projects that we're carrying on with Idea Map is the slum mapping. But I think due to urbanization and the growth of Lagos City, so the rate of congestion and informal settlement in Lagos is a big time problem of which you can apply the AI skills or the geospatial skills in solving that problem. We have a problem of flooding. We have problem of solid waste management. And I think those are environmental challenges that as a young surveyor, you can go into it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Daniel. To buttress what Mr. Daniel has said, an example of that is the Idea Map project, which I myself, luckily, am also a part of. It was a project, it is a project that is being sponsored by Melinda and Bill Gates Foundation. Right now, they are the one providing grants for that program, and it's basically focused on mapping slums and deprived area in cities like Lagos, Kano, and all of that. And there's a saying that if you can't map it, you can't manage it. If you can't map it, it does not exist. If it's not on the map, you don't have access to it. So, and that is one of the core objectives of Idea Map, to map slums, to map deprived area, then grade them on the level of depravity, so that the authorities or the people that, actually should provide these infrastructures like the government can have access to this information and act based on that information so that they can understand the level of depravity of these communities, as well as provide solution to their problems. Another thing is the problem of traffic congestion. You can use artificial intelligence coupled with geospatial technology to analyze traffic in particular area. Then the projects that are being carried on right now by some of my colleagues that have something to do with, instead of the conventional green light red that is time-based for traffic light, you can have a system that is able to count or monitor the number of vehicles that passes through a particular corridor. Then based on that information, as a smart system, changes the light from red to green to yellow, as the case may be. So those are part of the problems, that you can use the social tech and artificial intelligence to provide solution to. Another one that was mentioned earlier was also the issue of coastal sprawl, which is too much urbanization happening, which is putting a stress on available resources like road and water, especially along coastal area, not just along coastal area alone, but also within the city itself. We can use artificial intelligence to analyze this and make prediction as to what to expect in the next couple of years, maybe another 10 or 20 or 30 years. When we make these projections, the government are able to provide resources or begin to build, infrastructure ahead to be able to meet the needs of, 10 or 20 years to come. It's something I am working on personally on myself. I think that's one problem that we can use artificial intelligence and geospatial AI to solve. There are numerous. These are just a few. We have another question in the box. In your opinion, by Mr. Joseph Olushola, what skills do young surveyors need to develop to effectively leverage AI and cyber GIS tools in their career? Mr. Daniel, please, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I think as young surveyors, skills that is being required for you in data science and analytical skills is very, very necessary for you as a young surveyor. Programming skills is also required. So the spatial technology proficiency is also needed as a young surveyor for you to leverage over this particular field. Critical thinking and problem solving skills is also needed. So for me, I think it's a lot of intense learning for you if you want to leverage or advance your own skills as a young surveyor. And lastly is collaboration and communication skills among peers, among communities. You collaborate, you share ideas, you share skills. A typical example is the ongoing webinar now, whereby we collaborate, we communicate, and we share ideas in the same field. So those are things that the young surveyor required for him to get it as to his field rather. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Daniel. I hope that was able to address your questions, Mr. Joseph. To make a recap of what Mr. Daniel has said some of the skills required to be able to harness AI and cyber GIS in your career is: one, you have to sharpen your analytical skills. You have to sharpen your programming skills, maybe in especially for artificial intelligence. You want to develop skills in Python, Python for data science, R, and a couple of data management skills as well, and also your database skills, because of course geospatial technology is based on data. You have to be able to manage your database. You have to be able to carry out scripting, and also be able to develop models, using tools such as R and Python, and community development too, like what we are having right now, community development and capacity building, collaboration with other early career practitioners. Of course, we're young surveyors, to be able to, come up with solutions and all. Thank you. Thank you. If you have any other questions, please let's not be shy to leave them in the chat box, or just raise up our hands. Oh, there's another one from Surveyor Sutodem. As a young surveyor in developing nations, how can we overcome the significant financial and infrastructural barriers to acquire necessary hardware resources to implement effectively AI tools and cyber GIS within our respective contexts? Mr. Dane?
Sorry, can you come again with that question?
It says, as young surveyors in developing countries like Nigeria, how can we overcome the significant financial and infrastructural challenges in acquiring the necessary hardware resources, for effectively implementing AI and cyber GIS? So basically, your surveillance is asking us that, where do we write the check for the hardware resources we need to be able to harness the power of cyber GIS and AI? Are there organizations per se where we can get grants to be able to, key into these technologies in developing nations like ours? Can
you hear me?
Yes, we are with you. Please proceed.
Yeah, I think if we can leverage collaboration between partnership, like maybe local universities, research institutions, and government agencies, we can get that being done. I think a lot of grant is out there. I'll share in the platform with you later, based on how you can get resource and funds from those institutions or organizations. And intergovernmental organizations also are also there, whereby you can collaborate and get grants from them. The second point I have here is, when you explore cloud-based solution like Google Earth Engine, Amazon Web Service, the climate engine, those are cloud-based solutions that you can use in leveraging or having access to data that is freely accessible. Some are low cost, some are free. So I think from cloud-based solution, you can get that being done. And advocating for infrastructural investment, trying to advocate to local policymakers, government agencies, and industrial leaders, and in increased advancement of digital infrastructure. So I think if you can raise up an awareness, telling organizations, policymakers, yes, we need at least, let there be free data for analysis, let there be sites whereby, at least as an analyst or as a young surveyor, whereby I can pick data from. That will also be a solution for young surveyors that are looking for ways or organizations where they can get funds. That's all from my own.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, Mr. Daniel. I see Mr. Sovio Adewale Ilesomi has his hand up. Please, you have the floor. You can unmute yourself and ask away. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Gary, and good afternoon or good evening, everyone. Yeah, I don't know if I'm audible. Can anyone hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes,
Please.
yes, we are hearing you.
Okay. All right, thank you, Mr. Gary. And I don't really have a question. I just want to commend the organizer of this program and everyone involved and the facilitator so far. So I just want to say, the whole thing just boils down to the fact that as an individual, as a young surveyor, we need to up our games now. And I was sharing with someone some couple of days ago that now the language you need to know is English language. English language is your programming language now. You have you have GPT, you have so many AI tools that is accessible. All you just need to do is just, up your game and, put yourself in a strategic position where you can, utilize all those tools. So I think for every young surveyor now, we don't really have any excuse. I think we need to, move from acquiring data, fine, we are fine as a surveyor, we need to still acquire data, right? But what kind of knowledge, what kind of information, what kind of pattern do we discover from those data sets? That's where the world is going. Now you can barely differentiate GIS, IT, and all those technology now. When I heard about this cyber GIS, the first thing I did was to register for this webinar because that was what actually attracted me. So, and like I said, I commend everyone that that organized this program, and I want every young surveyor to see this as an opportunity to leverage. And I think that's all I have to say. Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, Surveyor Sami, for that word of encouragement and giving us a piece of advice and your mind about this. Thank you very much again. Thank you for joining us. We're wrapping up the question and answer session now. But before we do that, I would like to invite and introduce Surveyor David Elegbede, the chairman of Young Surveyors Network Africa, to say a few things to us, the participants, and to our panelists. So, David, you have the floor, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I've listened in, and the first thing that comes to my mind again after the presentation is that okay, the kind of training we have as surveyors here in Nigeria really helps us to gather the data, and after gathering the data, then we hands off, and that is all. And I want to think that you will agree with me that that is the style of our registration as registered surveyor even here. So what happens after we have gathered the data? We think that it is not very necessary. But where the world is going to now, there might not be need for a human to go and pick the data again. And that will obviously reduce the patronage of what's the human application of the human involvement as a surveyor in terms of mitigating environmental issues or whatsoever. So I think it is, like Surveyor Sami has also said, it is very important for us to now begin to up our game. Of course, Nigeria might be far away from it. Our policies might not be looking at it. The people in government might just be saying it, but might not implement. But we could play major roles in other aspects, which has to do with even if you are not in the country. Because in the developing world, where we are now, where they are now is actually far. And that is why we see that they now spend so much. You see people like Gates who spend so much investing. You see countries like the Netherlands who spend so much investing in other countries because they know what they will get in return. And on the final note, this is part of the things we actually want to achieve also. I think Sovietophilos will bear me witness because it's part of the strategic committee for the African network. And part of the things that was being said is that we want to go beyond just being the data man or person who to operate the equipment and just return back. We want to look at innovations. And where is that coming from? That's coming from what Professor Chibu, who is a senior lecturer in Munich and also currently doing a side research at the Namibian University of Technology, talking about, okay, David, when do you think the youth in Africa would be able to come up with innovations rather than every time we are just looking at, let's go to the Western world, let's go and get the ideas from them, then they come to sell to us and we begin to use. And you find out that some of these guys, it is we that they give the grants to come and study and they tie us down there. Then in return, they sell that idea back to us. So I just want to leave that with us to think about it. Let's begin to think innovation. Let's begin to think ideas. Let's begin to see how we can play massive role in making our environment much better and making our continent even much safer without a Western input. I think we can do it. Thank you very much. Thank you. Over to you, Biri. Thank you very much for the
Thank you very much, David, for that word of wisdom that you have left us with. I think the conversation of Western dependence is something that we would have to create another webinar entirely for, maybe in the foreseeable future. And we hope that we will be able to, invite yourself and you'll be able to, bring us other panelists on board to have this conversation with us. That specifically is an area that I have an interest in. And myself, I have a lot of things to say regarding that based on my past experiences with collaboration with other Africans and so on. So without further ado, we have come to the end of the Q&A session now, and this panel, as the case may be, this webinar as the case may be. But before we leave, I'd like to invite, the state chair for Lagos State YSN in person of Surveyor Adegoke to share a word or two with us. Then from that, we can go to the networking session where everyone can turn on their mic and, we can network and share our ideas about, what we have today and even beyond. Thank you very much. Surveyor Adegoke, please, the floor is yours.
All right, thank you, Mr. Guri. Thank you for the good moderation, and thank you to our speakers for. Sorry, can we hear me? Am I audible enough?
Yeah, it's loud and clear.
All right, so thank you for opening our eyes to the world of AI and the things around AI and what's it called again, GIS and all. So thank you for
GIS.
Yes, GIS. Yeah. Thank you for your help. Thank you for making sure that we don't forget the basis of why we are young, which is also to be able to bring in the tech aspect to be updated in terms of tech, and then AI is a new thing too, right? So thank you very much to all our participants for waiting till this end, having over 40 persons. At the point we had over 50, and then now we have over 40 still on this call. This is to show that, or this is to say that we are all taking this thing serious, and we are all ready to do the needful. Also, the deliberation is nice, and I also know that the problem with the fact that maybe I am thinking from a different angle. It's not that we are even reliant on the Western world. It's basically because once we find a roadblock somewhere, we are very very quick to relaxing and all of that. But like the moderator said, it's a discussion for another day. However, this is just to make sure that we are all. This is to keep us in check. Make sure that we all still have these things in mind, and then we are looking forward to doing something, and hopefully one of us get a breakthrough. In fact, I know some people are having breakthrough already, but hopefully we get a loud breakthrough, and then a lot of us can also follow suit, and then make sure that we do the needful. Anyways, thank you again, YSN Lagos. Thank you for to our speakers. Thank you very much to the committee, also the seminar committee. Thank you very much for this wonderful webinar, and to our friends, our guests who are not YSN Lagos members. We want to say thank you very much, and then we are also hoping that you take this opportunity to be a part of YSN Lagos. And then this is one of the things that we do. This is one of the things that we give back to our members. And then it's in a way, I'm sure it has shifted the minds of one or two persons here on this call, and then we are thinking in a new direction, or we are having a deeper thought in that same direction that we've always had. Anyways, whichever one is ours, we know that this has done one or two little shifts for us, and then we hope that by the time we come calling again, you'll be there for us, you'll be there to participate, and also let's build ourselves together, let's improve together. And then I'm also using this opportunity to let us know that we'll be having another webinar coming up very soon. May 1st. Am I correct? I know. This kind God, yes, so David is having a webinar May 1st with what's it called, with YSN Uganda. I don't know if YSN Uganda. I think I don't have the full information, but then also the international affairs are coming up with another webinar, and then we hope that you'll be a part of it, and then you will also learn from what our speakers are bringing for us and all of that. So again, thank you very much, YSN Lagos. Thank you for your time. Thank you for all that you do, and thank you for joining and staying through to the call to the end.
Thank you very much. That's it from our state chair, from State Chair of YSN Lagos. Thank you very much, everyone that has taken their time. Webinar, Mr. Redola, thank you very much for the wonderful music. And we have come to this session. We have come to the end of today's session. Like Sovia Adegoke mentioned, we are having another discussion on 1st of May about international collaboration, and we will be using the usual medium to communicate with you, or the usual media to communicate with you the date and the flyer for that event. Again, thank you very much. And on behalf of myself, the co-chair, and the chair of the Seminar Research Committee, Sovia Theophilos, we extend our gratitude to our panelists as well as the presenters who are taking the time to have this conversation. And we hope that in the future to come, maybe 5 or 10 years from now, we will sit again to have this discussion, but not about where to go. It will be about what other innovations are we bringing on board now, because I believe we must have taken a giant step when the time comes. Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you all. This is the time, anyone. We have officially come to the end of the webinar anyway. So we can stay on the call to have, if you have anything that you want to say, or any, conversation you want to have with myself, the panelists, or the rest of the participants, the floor is now ours, and we can have that chat. And again, we left some links in the chat box earlier on how to connect with our panelists. Myself, if you have anything you want to ask me, or the state chair, or the chairman for the seminar, or Sovia David himself, or even Sovia Adewale, please, you can always find us on LinkedIn, or you can pop us an email, as the case may be. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank everyone.